Dear Derry, welcome to Motivational Monday. For those of you who don't know what Motivational Monday is and are probably very confused by now, Motivational Monday is a day where I do a vlog that I try to focus on something inspirational, motivational, something like that. Well, today's, fittingly enough, is about patience. When I was looking up anecdotes, quotes, things like that for patience for today's vlog, I see the same one that keeps popping up. Several different pictures and whatnot, and the same one keeps coming up. And I think that's a good indication that maybe this is the one I need to go with. And the reason that this strikes me so funny and why I'm kind of bordering on chuckling the whole time, I will get to that in a minute. But the saying is, patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting. Now, I have been a proponent of patience for a very long time, and there are very few occasions where I will become impatient with anybody other than myself. With myself, I'm terrible when it comes to being patient with myself. It's part of the reason why I don't draw. I have never mastered the sense of patience to let myself practice, to let myself try to draw and screw it up and learn from that. Now, there's a sort of irony given some of the Motivational Mondays that I've done in the past, but it's just I have a very visual imagination and I have a very clear-cut image of what it should look like in my head. And if it does not come out that way, the first time I try to draw it, I get very frustrated. And the idea of practicing, not the idea of practicing, but the practice of practicing enrages me because it just seems like I should be able to do it better. I'm very impatient with myself. Other people, patience for days. Until it becomes clear that they are not trying to learn or listen or whatever. When it becomes clear that they're wasting my time or anybody else's time, then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't get angry about it. I'm just like, nope, I'm out. Thanks, bye. And I walk away, usually. But during that time, while I'm being patient, I try to have a good attitude because having a bad attitude just makes it worse. Perfect example of this, and this is why I find this so amusing. I took my pot that I was eating my ramen out of, because those of you who've seen me on various podcasts know that I just eat the ramen right out of the pot. There's no reason for me to dirty another dish. I'll just have to clean it again later. Yes, it's very bachelor style. Guess what? I'm a bachelor. Anyway, I was taking my ramen pot. I feel like I'm about to sneeze this whole time. Took my ramen pot to the kitchen and was washing it. I had just started washing it. I'd like not even, I was just swirling water in it. I hadn't even run the sponge through it yet. Well, the scrub pad thing. And the doorbell rang. So I put the pot down and, let it fill with, it was almost full of water anyway. So I just put the pot down. I walked to the front door, opened the door, and there was this lovely older Asian gentleman. I think he was Japanese. I'm pretty sure he was Japanese. And he's standing there, and no sooner do I open the door, and he just bright smile on his face. Very, very nice. It was a very casual kind of dress with a little flat cap and, but he's like, oh, good morning. And he kind of bowed and I bowed back and, it's like, good morning. How are you? He's like, I'm very good. And I opened the door, the screen door. And as soon as he handed me the little pamphlet, I knew it was religious. And I'm like, oh, you are barking up the wrong tree here. I was like, no, don't say it. And I realized that he is still very early on in learning English, or at least in using it. he was, he wasn't, I don't want to say he was having a hard time constructing sentences. It sounded like the sentences were constructed, but it sounded like the way he was speaking, it sounded like he was trying to translate on the fly. And he was trying to pick out individual words so that he could convey the meaning to me for what he was trying to say without having to form a complex sentence. And my whole reason, instead of saying I'm not interested and walking away, for one, that would have been rude. And I probably would have done that if his command of English had been better. I probably would have said, actually, I'm not really interested. I would have been very polite in my refusal, but I would have said no. However, I took it a different way. I decided, let's give him a chance to practice his English, and so that's where I spawned this sense of patience of, okay, let's hear him out, not what he's talking about, but let's engage him in conversation and give him a chance to, practice his English. Because, I mean, that's going to make him better at what he's doing. I have no problem helping him further his study of another language. I'm just not interested in what he's talking about. But I'll help him. And so, we stood there for about 2 minutes, talking about hope and change and help. Those were the big words. There was good morning. There was prayer. I heard prayer in there somewhere. And there was Watchtower. He got that one because, I mean, I said it first. I was like, "Oh, Watchtower," and he was like, "Yeah, the Watchtower." So, yes, good morning, prayer, change, everything change. That was a big one, and help and hope were the big words, and thank you and good morning, and that was most of the English that passed, from him to me, but the rest of it was perfectly clear, and I knew. Oh, and he said, and invited. He said invited, and the invitation was for today, and I'm like, I'm really busy, I've got to think. Plus, I don't, according to my watch, I don't believe in God, so. But it was still a fun practice in patience, I guess. But it was actually a very fun moment there on the front porch of the house. I just wasn't interested in talking about God, but I was interested in talking. So that's why I stayed. And that's where the patience comes from. So yes, be patient. And the big thing was having a good attitude while waiting. Just got to learn to do that with myself. See, it's not always about what I can teach you. It's things that we teach each other. And when we stop learning, we stop living. So, and when we stop having fun, we stop living too. So never stop having fun. Learn to find the fun in everything. Oh, wait. Is that, was that Mary Poppins? In every job that's to be done, there is an element of fun. An elephant? There is an element of fun. You find the fun, and the job's a game. I believe that was Mary Poppins. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. We're just after 9 minutes now. I think that's enough, especially with a full 30 seconds of at the beginning. So, patience and be careless.